So guys, here we have it. We have some data mines made by Gszabi, and thank you Gszabi by the way, for probably what will be tomorrow's update to the game, right? So we have nerfs to the Rafale, buffs to other aircraft, so let's talk about some of them and the changes that will likely be added tomorrow, okay? We start off with the Harriers, the early Harriers, right? The A, the C, the GR1, the GR3, the C Harrier, FRS1, right? The late one, the FA2, we have the AV8S, right? So all of these, basically the early, late models, and even some others like the Bs, they got their flight models changed, okay? So the main changes include, for example, a change in the amount of basically control, technically, when you are at a very close to stall speed. So the AOA that you can actually pull and control the aircraft will be a little bit better, okay, in the almost stalling speed, stuff like that. Also, the aileron control will be a little bit less effective when, we have less AOA as well. So overall, it will be a buff depending on situation, a nerf depending on situation. Remember that I talk about buffs and nerfs. These are basically fixes, right? But buffs and nerfs normally mean, when I talk about them, is they're getting better or worse. Even if it's a fix, you get the point, right? The elevator controller now got kind of a significant change on how much you can actually pitch, basically, right? So up to max 0.9, which is already kind of the max speed of the aircraft, it will be a lot better. So that is pretty good. So a lot more pitch. Overall, a little bit more thrust as well when you are, or a little bit more control over the thrust. I don't know how that's gonna work exactly, but when you are trying to VTOL, you're gonna have a little bit more thrust. Okay, so yeah, a little bit. Actually, it's pretty significant, like from 60 kilonewtons to 80, right? So it's gonna be a lot different, the flight model of the Harriers when this update comes live. Okay, especially the older Harriers. But even the newer ones got some of these changes as well, especially the thrust one, okay? The 5 model ones, not so much. But still, yeah, pretty interesting, right? So Harrier's getting technically overall buffs over here. More thrust, more pitch control, a little bit more control when you are in slower airs. Another change include the overall thrust responsiveness, I would say, of the F-14As, the Iranian and the normal one, and also the F-111s. So I think the F-111s use the TF-30 as well, right? So it's for the TF-30 probably, the engine. So a little bit more responsiveness when you are doing basically throttle changes, especially over the higher rates of power, okay? So overall, it should be better in even accelerating by a little bit, okay? Because you will be able to accelerate a little bit faster and change speed rates or power rates of the engines a little bit quicker, which is pretty good because the TF-30s, they're known to not have a lot of responsiveness, right? Another change is the camera for a lot of Mirages, a lot of the Mirage 3s, the Dash 5, the 3E, 3C, CJ, S, Mirage 5BA, 5F, the 2000C, S4, the CS5, the 2000D, the RMV, the 2005F, and even the Mirage 4000, all gonna have a new camera. I would assume that this is a more zoomed out kind of camera, just like they did with the MiGs and SUs and F-14s and F-15s and everything, okay? So remember this, tomorrow we'll probably see this. This is for the 0.9 update. We are in the 0.89, so probably will be tomorrow. So a new camera angle for the Mirages. And then we go talk about the Rafale. This is one of the main things. It will rip more, guys, more easily, basically, right? So now in the the version that we are in the game right now, we can pull up to 14.52 Gs. In the new update, it will only be able to put 13.62. This is pass over some, limits that you normally do. So you will be able to break a little bit more of the wings. But have in mind that because it's a canard aircraft, the calculations are a little bit different and it might not change too much. But in theory, you will be able to break a little bit more easily, which is a bad thing. You will break without doing too much strength. you know, the actual wings themselves, right? So just think about that when you're gonna fly them. So remember, this thing already filled with fuel and with a lot of missiles, it can already pull 12 Gs, even more. So imagine if you are light, without missiles, without fuel, this thing will be a little bit easier for you to break your wings. So just be careful. I don't think it's gonna be too much of a problem, but it is indeed a nerf, okay? It's around 1 G less, so it is more dangerous to fly the Rafale, pulling a lot of speed and turn at the same time, okay? Have that in mind. And for all the Su-17s of the game, the M2, M4, you know, the Su-22s and whatnot, they will break their gears a little bit easier. So as you see right now, you will break at around 630 plus, right? So even we are faster here, but yeah, see? And now, with the new update, probably tomorrow, it will be around 550. So a nerf on that regard. And the flap rip speed will be increased. So, yeah, it will basically, you know, rip itself with a higher speed. So the flaps got a buff, basically, and the gear got a nerf on that regard. Small changes, but still. Another good change over here is that the PS-05 Raider, the Gripen Raider, and the Blue Vixen Raider, which is the Sea Harrier FA2 Raider, will now have that buff, and we might even see other ones, that the Eurofighter got. So, see, now if I roll the aircraft more than 70 degrees, it will start to turn the antenna of the Raider too, okay? So, if I roll too much, it will start to pull the antenna with the roll. And how it will be is basically like the Eurofighter. So, for example, here, you can pull a 180 and the Raider still stay stabilized. Doesn't matter the roll that you get from the aircraft, which is great to actually keep a situational awareness, especially with these slower Raiders to do scans, right? Compared to an AESA, for example. So, yeah, pretty good buff for the Gripens. Some of the AAs of the game will have their IFF removed or disabled. For example, the Shilkas, the Italian and Russian one, the AMX-30 SDCA, and the VDAA Sandal, and even the Israeli Shilka. So all of them will not have an IFF basically identifying if it's a friendly or foe with their radar, which is okay because these you gotta have an eye on the radar on the vehicles themselves to be able to do something about it, because they don't have a lot of range, right? So it's not like you're gonna fire a missile without knowing if it's a friendly or a foe. And that's kind of it, guys. There are other minor things, like there is a new decoration text of a celestial swallow, Daki Makura, one of those pillows, right? So more weird pillows for you to have in your tank. But yeah, guys, basically this is it. There are other little things here and there, but these are the major ones, and you probably will see, if you see it right there, we are in the 0.089, right? This is for the 0.90, so probably tomorrow, the next update, and we will probably see more stuff that it's not in the data mines, that it's not ready, and will be ready tomorrow, okay? So tomorrow we do a video talking about most of them and showing, but basically these are the data mines of what you should expect, okay? So see you guys on the next one. Make sure to subscribe, leave a like, leave a comment. Thank you all the patrons and members, and bye guys. See ya.